Hello everyone, this is Another Trey, and welcome to episode 13 of Another Trey's Let's Play Modded Minecraft for version 1.21. To start out today, I want to go ahead and make this exchanging gadget, because what I'm gonna do is get this wall prepared to make the next room. I also want to fix this ceiling, to get this prepared for the next area we're going to dig out over here. So in order to make this easy, the first thing we're going to do is use this exchanging gadget to go ahead and swap out all the blocks in this wall. I should have a whole bunch of these. So we're going to go ahead and set this to surface. We're going to bump the range up. How big is this wall? Is it one more than that? 7. We're also going to change it to fuzzy mode so that it changes everything. Let's see, laboratory blocks. What do we have here? Laboratory blocks, laboratory blocks, laboratory blocks. Some of these are large tiles, so these are actually the ceiling blocks. Let's go ahead and get our correct block here. So this is the large tiles, which these actually, nope, that's not the one. So the large tiles are these guys. These actually don't have a connected texture, so they look more like a pattern like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift right click on these with the exchanger, and then that's going to allow us to use the blocks in our inventory to replace these just as easy as that. And we're going to go ahead and swap all these out, and there you can see we've used all those blocks already. We're down to what, 19 of them. So when I do this, you'll see the red blocks. It means we don't actually have enough. So it's just going to do the ones that it has, and it's going to stop. So that's basically how I'm going to replace this whole ceiling. For the wall, we also don't have enough of those. What I've been doing is basically just, because we have like unlimited quartz, I've been keeping a stack of quartz in my backpack, along with a whole bunch of stone, which is still being crafted down here. I should really move this because I don't come out here much anymore, but let's just take a whole bunch of this, let it craft up some more, put these all in our backpack, and then we're going to go ahead and go like this, and this is how you make the basic laboratory blocks. So now we've got tons of them. Just take a bunch of those with us, and then with our chisel we can change these to the regular ones that have the connected texture. Hold shift, craft, and it'll change them all at once. Now we've got a ton more of these. And then let's go ahead and bump this up one more, because then it's going to get the whole wall like that. It is going to get down a block further than we need to, but that's fine. Let's do this guy, and then that, and that should be the whole wall done. Then what I want to do is kind of get through here a little bit. That's the depth of all of these walls. Then I want to select this block with our cut paste gadget. Where'd he go? He's right here. We're gonna shift right click him, and then to get the other corner of the room, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're actually gonna take this whole thing. Wow, this is a lot of coal. See how slowly that bar is going? That means there's like a huge vein of coal here. So we'll see. Right now we have 25 in our inventory. Let's see what that goes up to, and then we'll see how many we have. There's over a stack, and then another 5. So yeah, that was a pretty sizable coal vein. Let's go ahead and fill this guy back in. Wow, there's actually more up there that we didn't get. All right, so that's 1, 2. There's 3, which means we should be able to right up. I did not mean to use the exchanger here, so we're going to go ahead and undo that change. Nice quality of life addition for that. Let's go ahead and shift right click here. I actually think I was supposed to just right click, so now I got to go do this one again. Yep, and then right click there. That whole room should be selected, And then we're going to go ahead and cut. It's cutting 2,288 blocks. So that should be that entire room layer by layer. Cool. And there you can see is the spot where we cut through on the other side. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this to hammer mode in is it 5x5? This is actually only 4 tall, but that's fine. So we want to make sure we're lined up with this guy. 1, 2, 3, and that'll get us into our brand new room. So with this new room, I want to do like I was talking about last episode at the end and start on mystical agriculture. We can actually close this up. We don't need this anymore. I do want to get another doorway right in the middle. I want to say it's here. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I don't like the depth of that, but oh well. And then what we're actually going to do is go like this. And then this is too tall. So we're going to go like this and put that filled in. Then if we have any of these guys left, yep, we do. We should just be able to go like this. If we have any of these, we can then fill these in. These frame blocks are really awesome for making builds like this where you want like angles. We're also gonna go ahead and make 4 of these guys, because these are the corners. Close that, close that. I'm gonna do that on both sides. And this is basically how I make the doors in my entire base. I hear a Vindicator or something. Cool. And we'll do the same thing over here. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and... Oh, this actually goes right outside. We better close this up. Huh. Huh. Oh, I see you guys. Got you. All right, let's go ahead and close up this area. All right, so then we can close up this guy as well and close that up. What we can actually do here is swap out that whole wall as well as, well, we're out of blocks now. But it's as easy as taking a few more of these, chisel, grab this guy, shift click the whole thing, and we got a whole bunch more. So let's swap out those. And then we can actually shrink the size here and do a 3x3. And that whole wall is swapped out. We can actually do, let's do a 4 here so we can get this whole wall. And it's actually not going to replace that, so that's fine. Cool. Isn't this a cool gadget? I really like this. Like, Direwolf really outdid himself when he made this building gadgets mod. Cool. And I'll finish cleaning this up between shots. But for now, what I'd really like to do is get started on mystical agriculture. So in order to get started with mystical agriculture, we're going to need a few things. The first thing is we're going to need infusion pedestals and an infusion altar. So let's get our infusion altar. We do need some red wool. So do we have red dye? I'm pretty sure we do over here, and we're probably going to need a bunch of it. So let's go ahead, let's throw this guy in here and get rid of some of this other stuff that we don't need. Our magma cream should actually have a spot over here. Do we have a spot for magma cream? No, but we should. So let's go ahead and put this in there. The sag mill that we upgraded last episode is going to do a great job with these flowers and give us a whole bunch of red dye. We should actually be planting some beets to get red dye because it's more sustainable than using flowers. But we'll get to that. We might even get to that this episode because we're going to do some farming. Let's go ahead and get some wool. And like this, and we'll get one of those guys. We are probably going to need a bunch of these. So let's see how many we're going to need. We need 8 of these, which means we're going to need 8 more wool. So that should be all we need. Let's go ahead and get 8 of those, and then 1 of these guys. Oh, see, one of the bad things about having night vision is sometimes you forget that mobs can spawn. So if we actually go into here and go into our helmet and deactivate that, you'll see it's actually really dark in here. So let's go ahead and get some lights in here. I know this and this are going to be Luminax blocks, so that's a start. Oops. And over here we'll do the same thing. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm just going to pop some torches down here because I'm not quite sure how I want to decorate this room yet. Is this room the same size? It's actually really dark over here too. Didn't even think about this. Yeah, so it's actually the same size as this room. But what we're gonna do here is take this guy, and I want to find the middle of the room should be like here. And then it's going to tell us where we have to put all our pedestals, which is really handy. So let's go ahead and do this. Ta-da! This block is a really awesome way of making resources. It's actually going to allow us to infuse seeds with properties to be able to grow plants that get us all kinds of resources, pretty much everything in the game that we would want. Let's get some more light in this room in the center here, and then we're gonna go ahead and pop some glass in there. Do we have some glass? Oh yeah, we do. So that'll at least get the middle of the room lit up here. Cool. All right, so now that we've got that, we'll fancy it up later. I always have the urge to like do some fancy stuff with this, and I can't. I have to keep myself under control. Okay, so the first thing, well, the reason we're doing this is because we want an easier way to get netherite. So if we look in our system, netherite can be made from netherite essence. Netherite essence is made from these netherite seeds. Netherite seeds are tier 5. So we're going to need prosperity seeds. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to teach our system how to make. Let's go ahead and do prosperity seeds. And then throw that in here. That's going to be a regular craft right there. And then we're also going to need, let's do netherite. This supremium essence, we're going to need 4 netherite as well, so that's going to take a minute. But this supremium essence is made with imperium essence, which is made with tertium essence, and that's made with prudentium. Prudentium is made with inferium, so that's the base. So we're going to need one of these crystals. I would like the one that has unlimited uses, but I'm pretty sure that one is kind of hard to make. So this will take them up through the tiers to this guy, and then that one has 4096, and then the master infusion crystal has unlimited uses, but that takes a lot of this essence. You're gonna have to go up to insanium. So let's go ahead and start by making our inferium gem. So we're going to need to teach the system. Oh, we're also going to have to know how to make these prosperity crystals. So let's start that again. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. All right, so inferium gemstones are going to be made with prosperity gemstones, which are made like this. And then those are used to make, you can actually go straight to the higher tiers, but I don't think we need those yet. So let's do that. And then he will be upgraded to this guy. Wait, did I already do that one? No, I didn't do that one yet. All right, so let's tell the system that you're going to know how to make these, and then that'll turn into these, and that'll turn into these. And then those are going to be used to make the next tier, which is these. And those are used to make the next tier, which is these. And then those are used to make the next tier. There's a lot of mods that have this like crafting that just goes in layers like this. And then we're going to make him. And then you are going to make the top tier. So that should be all of them. This is going to use a lot of our crafting resources. So let's go ahead and do that. And then the next one is the orange one. And then I think it's the blue one. And then, oops, the red one. I think that's the order they go in. But anyway, so in order to do the essences, we're actually going to try to do this a little differently. There is a block called, is it a quantum crafter? Is it this guy, a quantum crafter? Oh, he's really expensive. So in order to make this guy, we're going to need a bunch of stuff that we don't have. So let's not do that right now. I do want to get singularities going pretty soon, but not quite yet. So in order to make netherite seeds, the next thing we're going to need is we're going to need to get up to 4 supremium essence. In order to make that, we're going to need this, which is going to need this, which is going to need this. So the first thing we want to do is teach our system how to make this. Now the question is, do we want to use, I guess we want to use, yeah, so we have to use, for this tier, we have to use either that crystal. Oh, you know what? We need more blank patterns. So we have to use either the master crystal or the tier that it's at. So let's go ahead and put that here. We'll just use the normal crystal. And then we're going to use this to make the next tier, which is going to be this guy. And then that is used to make the next tier, which is this guy. And then that is used to make the next tier, which is this guy. I want to get to that master crystal, and then you can go up to the last tier, which requires that red crystal. And then that'll do that. And I believe that should be it, right? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put all of our recipes in the system. So we start. So now we should be able to auto-craft all this stuff. How much essence do we actually have? So do we have essence? Do we have it in the system? We might not even have it in the system. Where is this guy? So if we look in here, we have like 600 something. Let's find a home for you. I think I'm starving to death. We're gonna go ahead and put you in there. Is that full? Where's food? Carrots. Okay, I think that's full, but let's try again just in case, because we did also run out. So let's go ahead and leave one in there. Oh yeah, that's full. So we actually need an upgrade for that drawer. All right, we put that in here. We're also gonna have a lot of wool, so that should be fine. Let's go ahead and throw these guys in here. We have 697, which is probably not gonna be enough to get us very far, to be honest. But let's see. Let's make a, yeah, so let's make our seed. Prosperity gems and wheat seeds. So the prosperity gems, were we putting those in here? Oh yeah, we got tons of those. So these are actually going to need to go in here somewhere. Let's put them here. Gonna need another upgrade for that drawer. Diamonds. Let's go ahead and put him in here. All right, so we got a bunch of those. We also need seeds. Do we have seeds? They're probably over here in a chest, to be honest. We only have 3, so that is not going to be good. We'll also take this. So we're gonna need to make a farm for seeds because we don't have very many. I believe we still have some wheat growing upstairs. Let's go ahead and throw those seeds in there because we're gonna get a lot of them. Put that there. Let's check on our farm upstairs. Yeah, we only had a little tiny farm. We got a couple more seeds there. We'll solve that problem in just a minute. And then wheat is going to go up here, sure. All right, but now we should be able to make our prosperity seed. Okay, and then in order to make the netherite seed, we're going to need 4 of these and 4 netherite. So can we tell the system to make shift? Wow. Yeah, we need a lot more inferium. So change of plans. What we're actually going to do is make some inferium plants. So let's make 2 more of these. And then inferium seeds are pretty easy. They're actually just regular seeds surrounded by those. That's cool. So we're going to take 3 of these. Let's go over here. So the next thing I want to do, since we can't actually make our netherite seed yet because we don't have enough inferium, is start to get a system going where our plants are going to be. So I think what I want to do, I think I'm going to put like an enchanting place back here because we haven't done enchanting yet. And then our seeds, we're going to go through this wall. Yeah. Do I want 2 sections? I want 2 sections for seeds. So if I actually leave, let's go ahead and make this a 3x3 so that we know where that is. I want to leave a 3x3 section there, and then we'll go up to the 5x5 and go here. Let's go ahead and get some light in here. Don't forget this time. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And then what I want to do is close this part down now that we know where we are. Put a light here, and a light here. And I think I want to go a little bigger with this because what I'd like to do is have plants on either side of the wall. But I also want this space in between here to hide cables and stuff. So I'm thinking we're actually going to go... Where's our 3x3? I think we're actually going to go 2 more spaces out. Let's actually go like this. 1, 2. There's another hole. That up. And put our light back here and our light back here. Put one here. Can we go a little further back, please? So the basic idea of what I want to do here is, do we have dirt? I think we do in here. Now, I want to go here, here, and here, and then I want to do the same thing on that side, and that'll give us a 3-space walkway through there. That's cool. And then I want to move this up here because we're going to need to put something there. Let's go ahead and disable that and get rid of this coal. Yeah. Okay, and then do I know how to auto craft growth accelerators? I don't think I do. These growth accelerators, we've talked about them before, but they are awesome. Not only do they work on these geors, but they also work on plants. Basically anything that grows with ticks, they will work with. So let's go ahead and stick this in here. And then if we request one of these, it's going to say we're missing some fluix. Did we make any more? Oh yeah, we made tons of these. All right, so we need that. We need another quartz, and we need redstone, which we should have billions of. Oh yeah, we got so many resources now. We're gonna have to move this, but for a second, let's go ahead and turn off our magnet. And then boop, boop, and boop. There's a machine that we can use to automate this process. We can do it without the machine too. You can do it in world, but I think we're going to go ahead and use the machine to do it. Let's go ahead and throw those in and then go back to our growth accelerator. Let's get 2 of them. Oh, we're missing quartz dust now, which means I got to do this again. Go ahead and make 2 of those. We are going to have to get some power over here. So let's take a look at what we got going on power wise. I think what we want to do, I'm gonna get rid of this guy. And there's a block that I want to make, and let's just do this now. So it's called an elevator. It's this guy. We're gonna go ahead and teach our system how to make these, because these things are so handy. Let's go ahead and stick him there, why not? And if we make 2 of these, and then we go down here, we can stick 1 here, and then we can get out of here. We can stick the other one here, and then whenever we're standing on this, press shift, it'll take us down to the other one. It's actually kind of dark in here too. And we press jump, it'll take us up to this one. So now we have easy access to the bottom here. What I want to do is actually just run this guy. Let's just make a whole, like, I really like having tunnels underneath pretty much everywhere to help with the it's like a maintenance tunnel, so that we can see what's going on where all our piping and everything is. The one problem we're going to have is once we get to the center of this room, we are going to hit those lights. We also have our water here. Can I get a bucket? Let's move this guy. Do we have, let's put these away. We don't have any more of the ones with the lines on them, so let's go ahead and make a handful more of those. This guy. All right, and then you close that off. Then let's get some light down here in our tunnel. We should eventually hit those Luminax blocks here. Yep, so let's take this down. I would like to go back up here, I think. Yeah. And then we can take this back to the 3x3 mode. I'm not quite sure how far we need to go here, so let's go back up for a second. Because what we want to do is go straight down through here and also through here. That, oh yeah, it's not low enough. Let's actually go down one more, because we can make this part of that little maintenance tunnel. All right, and then that is this guy. And then if we find the center here, that should line us up with the tunnel that we were making. Did I run the wrong way? I may have run the wrong way. Oh no, we're misaligned from that wall. I didn't realize that. Okay. So now I forgot that we offset it a little bit. We should be able to go here and then actually our 3x3 go up here and see where we are. So that is where the wall is. So let's go ahead and fill this back in. Then we should be able to go with our 3x3 this way. Oh yeah, we did not need to go all the way over there. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. All right, so that should line those up. Then if we get some power cables, we might need to upgrade to the next tier of power cables soon. Go like that. Do we actually, I think we actually want to run this down the center. Oops. Because as we add more and more, we're not going to want to have a double line here. We're going to use twice as many cables. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. And then we should be able to run this cable straight out here. We can close this hole up now. We know where we are. And then it's just as easy as running this like this. And we should connect back up to our system. And of course, we're going to be like 2 or 1 or 2 short. So let's go ahead and teach our system how to make basic cables. Okay, now we should have everything we need to make these cables. So if I do this, yep, that's going to make a ton of them. Okay. And we're connected there, and then all we should have to do, oh, I didn't even realize we connected there. All we should have to do now is go ahead and take our growth accelerators, and we're gonna put one up, of course, here, and we're gonna put one here. Let's close this hole up before we fall in it. All right, and then the next thing we're going to want is a tool. Obviously, we're going to need a hoe, but we're going to use a special hoe, which is a Celestigem hoe. We're also in this hoe going to put a... Did we teach the system how to make a drops teleporter? I don't think we did. So blank upgrade, Eyes of Ender. Now we should be able to make one of these guys. Crafting is so much easier now, it's insane. So let's take our hoe, give it its drops teleporter. Now, this hoe is going to make a special kind of dirt from just dire things called the Void Shimmer Soil. And that Void Shimmer Soil, oh, you know what? We did not want to do that. Where is this guy? That was a mistake. Let's do that. Let's get this guy, And before we do that, we actually want to bind this to our AE system like this. Now, whenever we make this soil, that soil is bound to that block. So anything that grows here is going to pop off when it's fully grown, and it's going to teleport right to that block. So if we take our Inferium seeds and we go doot, 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 you'll see they're going to grow pretty quickly. Oh, you know what? These need water. I forgot about that. So let's go ahead and get some water there. get some water there. And get some water in there. We can close this wall back up. All right, so now that we have water, we should be able to hoe this. Cool. And let's grow these seeds again. See what happens now. You'll see now they'll pop off, the little particles will display, and it will put the resulting inferium essence into our system. Then I just have to decide what pattern I want to put there. Probably these. Does that look cool? That should be cool, right? I'm thinking about changing. Let's get our magnet one so we can pull that out of there. Thinking about changing the way these guys look, because I don't like being able to see that cable in there. I might put the cable on the back side behind the wall. I think I actually want to pull this cable up here. And do I want to put a block here and then a block here and then a block here and then the water here, and then put the growth accelerator against this wall? Does that look better? I think it looks better because the water back there looks better than a cable back there. So that should be good. And then we can put this seed back here. We'll do the same thing over here, I think. Some blocks here, here, and here for our water back. And then the growth accelerator goes here. Cool. Let's get a few more of those inferium seeds. Well, actually, I think I want to do the inferium seeds in here. Alrighty, and then we're gonna go down a little bit here. Is this? Yeah. It's a 3x3. That's the other wall. So we're gonna go that, and I think we're just gonna break this down. And then we run it out here one more, and then we need another growth accelerator and another inferium seed. So growth accelerator, inferium seeds right here. Oh, we're out of seeds already. So let me go grab some more of those. Actually, you know what? We are going to need a lot of seeds. So I think I'm going to upgrade the farm here a little bit for a second. Just enough so that we get some of these, what the heck, some of these seeds going. So I don't think we're going to need carrots anymore. I don't think we're going to need any of this stuff anymore. Let's get rid of this. And then can we overwrite this farm soil? No, we can't. So we're going to have to... let's grow this a little bit. So we should be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and have all that going. Then we can take our wheat seeds. Those should grow rather quickly. Do we still have a watering can? We do. What happens if we water these as well? They should break off and just automatically go into our system, which looks like is what's happening. These couple are not wanting to go. There they go. So yeah, that should get us a bunch of seeds. That dire dirt does actually make them grow a little faster also, I believe. I do actually have 3 more of these, so let's go ahead and place these down. Where is our bucket? Did not close this up yet, so let's close that up. This one. Let's get our growth accelerator. Did I put the water in there? Yes, I did. All right, so that one's ready to go. All it needs is those inferium seeds, which we should have seeds now. Yeah, we got a bunch of them. All right, 2, 3. And that'll get us tons and tons of inferium. If we go over here and look, we're up to 727. We're gonna need, like, I think I said 2,200 something to get to the point where we have, yeah, there we saw it just go up a little bit, enough to make the netherite seeds. I think we might do the same thing over here. So 1, 2, 3. Is that the same as this side? Yeah. Could also just put some right here for now. It's not like they're hard to move. Let's go ahead and get this side going. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of these running, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So I went ahead and made a whole bunch of these inferium essence plants. And as you can see, it's going up, I mean, fairly quickly. It kind of stopped there, it goes again. And I made all the crystals all the way up to supremium. I just need to get the last one, which is the master infusion crystal. That one has unlimited uses and can do any of the crafts. Each of these are limited to only upgrading from one tier to the next, so I had to make them all. So I'm really close to making this. The problem I ran into is that every time I try to craft one of these guys, it says it needs like thousands and thousands of these materials, and that's because the recipe says it needs one of those crystals, and the system keeps thinking that it needs to make these crystals every single time. So I'm wondering if maybe if I take these guys out now that I have them, the system will stop making new ones. So let's go ahead and throw these. Oh, you know what? We're out of space in our drive again. You know what we should do? We do have a 256, this guy right here. Maybe we should just use him. We can always take it out later and just use him to make a new storage cell. That way at least we can go ahead and make some new, put some more stuff in our system. So let's put the 256 cell there for right now, and then go ahead and see what happens. We have all of our crystals. Did I take all of these out? Yeah, so I took all the crystal crafting recipes out, and I just want to throw the crystals in. I want to keep the patterns out. We can go ahead and throw these patterns in here for now, just in case we do need them, but I don't think we will. So let's go ahead and throw these in here. And then what happens now if I tell it that I want another one of these guys? It's going to say that it's missing a bunch of the crystals because the recipes call for them. So how do we deal with that? I'm not sure that there's a way to. It's the same kind of as like the bucket situation. The system can use water directly as long as you have a bucket in here though, without needing it. So what happens? No, because it needs to know that. Let me think about how I want to deal with this. So actually, regardless, we're going to need more of this inferium essence before we can get to that master crystal. Once the master crystal's done, I think that might solve our, although it's still going to think it needs to craft a master crystal every time. I'm going to have to think about that some more. But in the meantime, I did go a little overboard with getting this place fixed up. I finished the roof in the main room. I put some Luminax blocks behind there. I do want to finish the rest of this ME controller. Can I? We'll worry about that later. But I set up 8 of these little systems. So I got 24 plants going, just producing Inferium. There might be some ways to get this to go even faster. I know upgrading our good to the next level and using Eclipse alloy will get us to the next tier of the soil for the Just Dire things. So we'll definitely work on that. But for now, we've got our plant system going. These won't all be Inferium forever. I just kind of want to supercharge the initial production of Inferium so that we can get everything we need to get all the plants that we need. Because we're going to be making a bunch of them. So for right now, I'm just waiting for that to happen. And in the meantime, I'll let you guys know. I'm going to do a little bit more like fixing the place up. I'll probably move this system over here. Oh, one thing I do want to move for sure, let's get this done real quick, is I want to move this guy and his rods. And I want to put them, did I lose this guy? I want to put them over here where we used to have that little chest, because we should be able to then use a pattern provider. We can make those, right? Pattern, ME pattern provider. Let's do an extended one if we can. We don't have enough logs. We ran out of logs. Do we have logs in our chest over here? No, so I guess I'm gonna have to go chop trees for the first time in a while, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we should have everything we need to make our pattern provider. Let's go ahead and bring that over here. Stick him, I think we want to put it right here, and well, actually, where do I want to put this guy? I think we're actually gonna need to move this, because that's gonna have to come up here. And then let's run our cables here, and just enough. Put our rods here. And we're gonna put our pattern provider right here on the floor. Can we have any more of these guys? Yeah. Let's put our, oops. Here's our, do we have any cables? Did we throw those in the system? We have one. So we're gonna, actually that's perfect. So put that there, we put that there. We put this guy here. Now the question is gonna be, how do we get the stuff we craft back out of here? The one thing we are gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna make sure we set this to blocking mode. Otherwise it's going to keep feeding resources into this, and if it has too many resources, it's going to get just clogged up. There are facades in this pack. I haven't used them yet. So now if we go take a crafting pattern, we say a processing pattern, and we want, what's that steel called? Energized steel. Let's do that, and then if we come here, we should have energizing orb. Put that in here. Then if we request energized steel, let's just get 2. What it's going to do is it's going to send it to here. It's going to craft them super quick, but then they're going to be stuck, and I don't think there's a way to tell this to output anything automatically. So I think what we're probably going to have to do is move this cable. Do we have any more cable? I hope so. Yeah, we got a couple of them. That'll be enough. Oh, but we're also going to want some way to move items. So let's do we have kind of like an item pipe or I know we have conduits from Ender.io. Let's do, what's the one from Modern Dynamics? This guy, item pipe? To do those, we're also going to need an extractor for that, which is going to need a hopper, which is going to need a chest, which is going to need some logs. Let's go ahead and teach our system how to make these. And then if we go back down to our crafting here, we can do chest, hopper, extractor. Then we should just be able to request one extractor. No crafting CPUs. So the problem it's running into is it still thinks it's crafting that energized steel. So we're gonna have to throw that into the system, and then it should be happy because it got what it was expecting. Now, if we go ahead and request an extractor, it should be good. And then all we have to do is move this cable like that. That'll connect that up to the system. And then if we go like this and do an extractor here, we can close this back up. We really should get a facade for this, but in the meantime, we want to see how this works. So now if we go request some energized steel, just 2, and we do start, we should go from 5 to 7. Oh, we did go up to 7. It just took a second. I wish I could see. I want to see it there, and then it went there. Oh, so the problem is it takes a little while for these pipes. They're kind of slow. We can put some upgrades up here. If we do modern dynamics, we should be able to see what types of things can affect the speed. So that'll move more items. We don't want that. We want item speed plus 100% with an acceleration card, and we can have up to 3 of those. Let's try that, because I think we can make acceleration cards, right? Yeah. So 3 of those, super easy. 1, 2, 3, done. Then if I come in here and put these 3 acceleration cards in there, it should be much faster. So let's do energized steel. 2 more. Should go from 9 to 11, and that was much quicker. Then if we request 4 energized steel, what it should do is make the 2, it'll wait for that first recipe to be done and pulled out before it sends in the second one. So that should be happy. We're up to 15, and this guy's happy. Yep. So that blocking mode basically made it so it put in the first craft, it waited for it to be extracted before it put in the second craft. So yeah, that works pretty well. Let's check out these. Can we make these facades real quick? I never used this facade mod. So cable facades. Let's take some of those. And we're hungry again. Let's not eat the apples because we can actually use those to make chorus fruit. Let's just go ahead and eat carrots. I should set up my carrot farm again. Let's make a spot for carrots in our system right here, and then put some carrots. Let's actually put some potatoes in the farm too. All right, so we'll get some potatoes here, and we'll get some carrots there, and those will just pop right into our system. Whenever we're hungry, we can go get some. Okay, so we got that finished up. Let's check out these facades. There are facades for Ender IO as well, but they only work for Ender IO conduits. So let's see if we can. Oh, right, I needed that in the system. Throw those in. Let's make a bunch of facades. How do these work? If I put that in there with that, it's going to look like that, but we don't want it to look like that. We want it to look like this. So then if I take this, does this work with these? They do. Oh, that looks awesome. This is actually a really cool mod. I like this a lot. So let's make 2 more of those. Let's put 1 here and 1 here. And it looks perfect. Wow, that's really awesome. Let's do 1 more. And put it down here. Does this work with these? Does not work with those. Okay, so that's unfortunate. But it does work with our cables, which is great. I don't like how that looks like that. Is there... All right, so for this, we might have to switch this out for a Ender IO item conduit. That might be better. But for now, this is fine. We do want to teach this how to make blazing crystals. With that, we want to make it with blaze rods for now. And then when we go in here and drop this guy in here, it should be as easy as saying, give me a blazing crystal. And then that should go over to our system, make a blazing crystal, and we got it popped in. We also want to be able to make the niotic guys. Let's get out of here. Which is these. And then we also want to be able to make the emerald ones. What's the emerald tier called? This is called spirited. So let's go ahead and do that one as well. So this guy, and now we should be able to request all of that. Now we got spirited crystals as well. So we should be able to move through the tiers of Powah pretty quickly at this point. I wonder, do these work with these? Yeah, they do. That's awesome. Okay, that's going to be very helpful. If I break this. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's still connected. It says it is. That's an interesting little bug there. It might just be visual, so that's fine. All right, guys, so that's going to be an episode for this time. We got a lot done getting our agriculture up and going, our mystical agriculture. We have a brand new plant growing area. We're going to let this inferium build up until next episode. And then we're going to work on getting that netherite plants so that we don't have to like spend hours and hours. Well, I don't have to spend hours and hours looking for netherite in the nether, because it's probably honestly one of the worst things about Minecraft. I really don't like mining very much. Especially after the beginning, because it gets old and then it's super boring. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll work on getting those netherite plants going. Thank you for joining me. If you like the episode, go ahead and give it a like. Please subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.